Picture all the animals in south central Nebraska. Now imagine if all those animals weren't identified. We would have animals, especially cattle, running everywhere, not knowing who belonged to who. I grew up on a cow-calf operation in south central Nebraska, where we use ear tags and branding to identify our cattle. In my speech, we will discuss why we identify cattle and 2 methods of cattle identification, including ear tags and branding. Identification is needed in any type of record system, and this is according to an article written entitled Beef Cattle Identification by Felsman. First, we'll discuss why we identify cattle. Identification is a basis for any type of record system. We can track the parentage, birth date, production history, and health history of an individual animal. This enables the producer to make individual or herd decisions based on the records. The identification also identifies ownership or herd of origin. When a producer should pick out an identification that is best fit for their operation. When our cattle get out, people are easily able to identify that they are ours according to our ear tags. This is according to the methods of livestock identification written by Neely and Yeager from Purdue University. Now we'll discuss methods of identification. The first method of identification that we'll discuss are tags. The first type of tags we'll discuss are ear tags. Ear tags are easily applied with an ear tag gun, and we tag baby calves when we move them to the next pasture. An advantage of ear tags is that they are easily to apply and easy to read when you're driving through the pasture checking your cattle. A disadvantage is a lot of tags are lost each year. It is estimated that 20% of cow ear tags are lost annually. This is according to an article entitled Beef Cattle Identification by the Cooperative Extension Program written by Felsman. The second type of tag we'll discuss are RFID tags, or radio frequency ID identification. This can be placed in either year. Canada currently has a program where they assign each bovine a 15-digit number. This number is retired after slaughter and used again. This is so that they can trace the animal back to the original producer if found infected with a disease such as mad cow disease. This is according to an article entitled Cattle Identification by Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, written by Blakely. The application of RFID tags is fairly simple. The U.S. recommends using the left ear and placing the tag 1/4 the distance the length of the ear from the head. This is the most desirable location because it allows growth, yet is the proper place so that it can retain the tag. The tag looks like a circle disc on each side of the ear. This is according to an article entitled Beef Cattle Identification, written by Felsman. The second type of identification we'll discuss is branding. The first type of branding we'll discuss is freeze branding. This can only be used on dark animals. And the iron is cooled from -100 degrees Fahrenheit to -300 degrees Fahrenheit. It is placed on the hide from 10 seconds to 1 minute, depending on the quality of the hide. It kills the pigment-producing cells, and after healing, white hair will grow back in place of where the brand was, which shows us why we can only use it on dark animals. A common coolant used is dry ice or alcohol. We once had a Mustang purchased from the Bureau of Land Management that had a freeze brand along its neck. This is according to the Virginia Cooperative Extension in an article entitled Cattle Identification, Freeze Branding, written by Hall, Greiner, and Gregg. The second type of branding we'll discuss is hot iron branding. There's some steps to do to prepare for a hot iron brand. The animal's hide must be dry, and if there is lots of hair, it should be clipped. We have to restrain the animal and have our brand registered with the state ag department. The brand iron should be left on long enough to ensure that the brand will be permanent, yet not too long to cause excess pain. This usually is about 3 to 5 seconds. This is according to the Livestock Identification Services in an article entitled The Right Way Brand. In conclusion, we have discussed why we identify cattle and 2 methods of identification, ear tags and branding. It's hard to imagine what all the future will hold for identification methods. So next time you're driving throughout rural Nebraska, think about what identification methods are being used as you notice the cattle in the pastures, and you will know what they are and how they were applied. Thank you.